Hey guys, PIEGUYRULZ here, um, and I am joined by my friend Nathaniel Bandy here,
What's up, guys?
and welcome to the Patreon stream for the season 9 videos. Um, yeah, so just say hi in the chat if you can hear me and everything's working, um, and also if you're excited for the Emoji Movie.
Oh man, I would love to see that. We should go watch that. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure. uh, um. Hey everyone. So basically we're gonna go for probably an hour here. I'm just answering questions about SpongeBob or whatever. Really, I've kind of been inactive lately, and I have a bit of a news going on with that coming out tomorrow. I can't really speak on it, but in terms of stuff that's been going on, yeah, feel free to ask questions.
Yep.
So yeah, start whenever you guys are ready. Let's see. A lot of my fun facts had to do with guest stars. Yeah. I mean, that's that's the lazy man's way of doing fun facts. When I started doing this, it seemed like a cool idea to do like a fact per episode, and there is a lot of interesting facts like about the earlier stuff, especially because people love that stuff, and so there's been a lot of just kind of like people asking questions on Twitter and about the earlier episodes and stuff. So there is like a lot of trivia out there about that. But when it comes to like the newer episodes, there's not always a piece of interesting trivia. So the default I kind of go to is the guest star thing.
I guess kind of going off of that, since the episodes are so new, it's kind of hard to find, an interesting piece of trivia based off that, just
Yeah.
because there's not a lot of information out there.
The other thing with that is that a lot of times like on the SpongeBob wiki and stuff, since it's a wiki that anyone can edit, a lot of times because these are newer episodes, people will just kind of flood it with like a lot of information that's not always correct. And rather than kind of parse through
Yeah.
that, I try to go with stuff that I know is true. Um, let's see. Why weren't the season 9 list spongy bits? They were basically. It's just I didn't feel like putting the spongy bits intro in there basically because I have to actually make a new intro because the last intro was I think it includes the season 6 episodes in the intro, and so I have to add like 7, 8, and 9. And I didn't feel like doing that because I want to get these top 10, top fives out. So they are basically a part of that. It's just they don't have the branding attached. Um, and no, the Spongy Bits series is not over. The Hattie Patty fun fact was legendary. Yeah, when I'm like completely out of ideas for fun facts, I will just state a fact that is just like stated point blank in the episode.
The name of this
Uh,
episode is whatever. There's your fun
yeah.
fact, guys.
I think for salsa imbecilicus, I wrote that imbecilicus is not a real word was the fun fact. Um, let's see. Okay. I've asked this in the past, but what's the font I usually write the ScumBob episode in? Ooh,
Hmm.
Cracked, I think it's called. I think. Ooh, I don't know that off the top of my head. I'm pretty
I've
sure
seen
it's
that font in
cracked.
other places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On pretzels. There's a pretzel type that has it. I don't want to open up Photoshop right now because I feel like it might crash with all the stuff I have open, but I'm pretty sure it's called cracked.
Hmm.
Let's see. Is it normal to like a bunch of episodes? The first time you watch them and find them more meh when you rewatch them critically? Oh, of course. I mean, there is always something exciting about watching something for the first time because you want more of it. You just want more SpongeBob. You're not necessarily thinking strictly like, wait a minute, is the story I just watched like not good, or is it just repetitive, or is it whatever? Um, a lot of times, especially like when it comes to good versus meh, like when it's a ScumBob, when there's something like obviously obnoxious or bad in it, it's kind of easy to see maybe even from the start. But when it comes to stuff that's more middle of the road, you're excited to watch it for the first time, and it's only after maybe a second or third viewing that you really kind of pull out the critical lens and see a lot more of the flaws. Do I count Pineapple Invasion as a Gary episode? That's a very good question. I saw a lot of people listing this because if that's true, then this would be like I think the first good Gary episode since Gary takes a bath. Um, like do I yes and no. Like I consider it a Gary and Plankton episode, so like technically yes, but at the same time, I mean the focus is definitely more on Plankton than anything else. So I mean, I'd say maybe like yes with an asterisk on there, like a technicality plus. Um, what fonts do I write? Good episode and meh episode. I think those are Impact.
They look like Impact. Yeah.
Yeah, they're Impact. If you want a font that's like sturdy, it's gonna get the job done. No frills. Impact is
It,
the way
it,
to go.
I'll just say that it leaves a very good impact on the message you're trying to say. I'm so sorry. I thought
Impact.
of the pun. I had
If
to do it.
if you don't know, Impact is also the font used in memes. It's like the meme text, but Impact is
Yes.
such.
It's one of the most overused fonts on the internet, I'd say.
But the reason I think the reason why I don't know, I mean you'd have to ask like 5 years ago me why I selected that font, but I think it's just it's a very clear font. Like it's what is
Mhm.
there's a saying of like clarity over creativity or something like that, where like you could put a fancy font in there, but if people can't read it, then what's the point? So I want to go with something just clear and bold, and yeah, Impact will do that. Let's see. Is No Hat for Pat now my favorite season 6 episode, judging for what I said at the end of the top 5? What did I list as my favorite season 6 episode? Was it Not Normal? No Hat for Pat.
I think that's what you said. It was
Yeah.
not normal.
The reason why I said that it's just No Hat for Pat just kind of always sticks in my mind. As not just a good episode, but like a surprisingly good episode, and an episode that not everyone thinks is good. Like most people think Not Normal is a really good episode. Um, so no, not necessarily. I was just kind of listing two of some of my favorites. I would list Not Normal as probably one of the other ones that would be comparable to seasons 1 through 3. But I think I don't know. I think what is it? Not Normal is good in a different way than most of the episodes from the first 3 seasons. Like I think in particular, Pineapple Invasion fits with the earlier seasons because it is just really funny. There's plenty of episodes like that are good for other reasons, but yeah. Let's see. What font is the season text in the thumbnail? Where did I get the bang sound effects? Okay, this is a funny one. The season text in the thumbnail. Is that not? Oh no! You know what? The funniest thing about that is I don't know. I don't actually remember the
Don't
name.
know.
I don't remember the name of it. And the scary thing is I forgot the name of that, right? And I didn't write it down stupidly. And for the first like 3 or 4 seasons, I was using like PowerPoint, so I didn't actually, and I don't know, I lost the PowerPoint presentations like got wiped of their fonts for some reason when I updated. Anyway, point is I forgot the font, and like I had to make the season 5 video, and I'm like, yeah. So I basically just kind of went through a bunch of the fonts. I knew it had to be one of the like default fonts in Photoshop, and eventually I found it again, as you guys know, because it's the same font through and through. But yeah, I couldn't tell you. It's not Playbill, but it kind of looks like Playbill. I don't know.
I have no idea what that font
It looks
is,
like
so.
I look piratey, so that's why I went with it.
Yeah.
And then the other where did I get the bang sound effects? Those are default sound effects on PowerPoint. What is my favorite slide layout in the SpongeBob season reviews? I think I'd always go with season 7, the plankton one. Like just the eye is so striking, and the different buckets of chum, and I don't know, and it matched that season very well. But yeah, I mean, I like the Gary designs as well. I was pretty proud of the Karen ones from both ones from season 9, too. Let's see. The Slumber Party was the one I listed as the best in season 6. A lot of times I just kind of forget which season some of those episodes were in. Yeah, I'd probably say the Slumber Party is better than Not Normal or No Hat for Pat, just because it like Pineapple Invasion. I would say it is funny enough to compare to the early seasons. Hey, Mario fanboy. Oh, good. We're getting a decent turnout. A few people here.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh God, are you in a wind tunnel right now?
No. Hold on a second.
It's okay. If you have to mute your mic, that's fine. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Obviously not expecting the review anytime soon, but just curious, have I started watching season 10 yet? No, I have not, but I am kind of anxious to do that soon. So, and I probably will because it's like one episode. God, hey, can you mute your mic, please, for a second?
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. Sorry about that, folks. Oh, 6 was Plankton. See, yeah, my poor memory. But yeah, Plankton is still my favorite one, and it's even more fitting for season 6. Another season 6 note would be that Plankton and Karen got in a lot of fights. Let's see. You think season 8 is the best slide layout? I mean, I like the Mermaid Man Barnacle Boy slide layout. I just think compared to other ones, like the Gary one or the Plankton one or the Karen one, it's not as sleek because it's a bunch of different drawings and it's not like the one variation on something. It's like 4 different Mermaid Man Barnacle Boy related things. I don't know. I think it looks cool. But I don't. In hindsight, I don't think it looks just like it doesn't gel as well as the Plankton one. Do I still consider season 6 my personal favorite, or has the newer video taken its spot? I think, I mean, in terms of the season reviews, I still think the season 6 was the best one. But in terms of videos in general, I'm really proud of that South Park video, man. I don't know. I was really passionate about that, and I think it just kind of came through. All my points came through very well. And what else? What other? I'm also. I mean, I love the video that I did with Chuck Conroy. I don't know. I think the discussion in that was really cool, and it was just really cool to hear his opinions on stuff. Hey, Captain JZH, you're on vacation right now. Well, enjoy, man. Glad you could pop by at least for a little bit here. No, I have not seen any season 10 episode at the moment. Oh, you're making a Loud House review. Nice, DS guy. Looks like someone found Mindy's windbag. How did I get the idea to make a different SpongeBob transition for every season? Well, with season 4 was when that started. Season 4. And it felt. I think season 4 was when that started, right? Yeah. I don't think I did that in the first 3. But it just seemed like a cool idea, like to give it a little video flourish, a little more motion, make it a little more dramatic. And then I think season 5 had the Fungus Among Us episode. Oh, I started it in season 5. I did. Okay, I had the frame in season 4. Right? I think I had the frame. Anyway, season 5 had Fungus Among Us, and then I don't know. The answer is I don't really remember. But I think it was just something like I kind of found something related to the season that really kind of fit it. So I wanted to just kind of do that for each season. I didn't even know Rick and Morty was coming out tonight.
Yep.
But now, do you watch Rick and Morty?
No, but I did see. What was I saw someone promoting it actually.
Oh,
just kind of crazy. Someone was sponsored by who's behind Rick and Morty again? What channel are they on?
They're on Adult Swim. Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon. Oh, was it H3H3? I saw that picture.
Yeah, I was listening to their podcast, and they're like, "Hey, we're sponsored by Adult Swim. We're going to show you a preview of Rick and Morty." I couldn't believe it. I thought that was crazy.
Dang. Well, yeah, because Ego Raptor was on last season, I think. I don't know. Oh. Anyway, so to answer your question, no, I wasn't ready for Rick and Morty, but man, I am now. Will there be TV log? I don't know. Depends on if I feel like I have to say anything. The season 5 thumbnail is the only one that isn't 16:9. That's actually that was like a YouTube upload problem. The actual file is the correct aspect ratio, I think, and I had an issue with that, so that's why I haven't changed it. Yeah, season 1 through 4 was the generic frame for the Scum. Petter Pest was the season 6 one, right? Legend for season 7. 8 was the Christmas for 8 and Goo Lagoon for 9. Yeah, that's right. For the SpongeBob transitions. Favorite SpongeBob transition? Definitely not the Legends of Bikini Bottom one, and not the season 8 one either, because it was just too minor. I was pretty happy with the season 9 one, and I like the season 5 one. Yeah. Have I watched Legends of Korra? Yeah, man. There's actually video. I used to do vlogs on some of the episodes. So yeah, if you're curious, um, did I like it? I mean, I think Korra is kind of a roller coaster. Season 3 is genuinely really good. The rest of it is just kind of a mixed bag. Some of it's pretty bad. Some of it's, um, will SpongeBob ever have another ScumBob season? Who knows, man? Who knows? It's funny
I
because
mean,
that would.
I was gonna say the way things are going, maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because when I started the project, I thought that it would never have maybe even like another mess season. But yeah, here we are. I mean, things have at least balanced out for the time being. When I'm watching an 11-minute SpongeBob episode and my voice cracks, for the second or third time for a review, how long does it take to get through it? Um, I don't know. I mean, a lot of the time, like I kind of end up watching it through and taking notes while I'm watching, for like the second or third watches. Um, but yeah, sometimes I pause it and I'll write down a lot of stuff. Sometimes I won't. So it's between like 11 and 20 minutes, maybe. 20 at most, and that's not average. Um, is a Star versus the Force of Evil review within my current projects, or I haven't seen enough of it? I still haven't seen past the like third episode. It's something I'd like to do someday, but I really don't have any plans to at the moment. So yeah, no promise on that one. Um, Would I ever consider redoing my first SpongeBob movie review in the scene by scene? Yeah, again, that's another project that I'd like to do, but I don't know that I have the time for it, and I don't know if there's enough interest. The second SpongeBob review, the second SpongeBob movie review, didn't get as many views as I kind of expected it to. Um, so I'm not sure that people would care enough for me to do that. But I do think that I definitely think that if I were to review the first movie, I would do it a lot differently, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did end up with a good. It might not. I don't know. I still haven't seen the movie in a while. But I saw the video game of the movie. But yeah, and you all know my feelings on that. Do I feel like I may have an effect on prolonging the air? No, I don't. I don't think Nickelodeon is holding out on season 10 to prevent me from making the season 10 video. But maybe.
You never know.
Yeah. Hello, Naughty Fan. How you doing? I like your no, I was gonna say over the garden wall profile picture, but that's not that. Hey, Dots. Is a target audience for my SpongeBob season reviews people have seen the episodes? Oh, definitely people who have seen the episodes. The way I review things, it is mostly for people who are fans and have seen most, or if not like all of this stuff, or at least are familiar with it, because I don't show footage and stuff, and I tend to not give context because I just kind of expect people to know. So yeah, but I mean, hey, if you can enjoy it without watching the episodes as well, that's great too. Bojack season 4 vlog for September. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but I do know that I Bojack is one of those shows that I really need to make at least one video on, because the show is one of my favorites of all time, and I think it's really profoundly good and really profoundly interesting. Have I seen Star Wars: The Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels? Um, I've seen the Clone Wars. I saw some of it, like the CG one, not the animated one, because there's two shows named Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I saw a little bit of it when it first came out, and it looked good. It just, I don't know, it didn't really kind of catch my attention too much. Am I sick of seeing the poop emoji? Yes. Get ready for nonstop like emoji YouTube videos. I have a feeling, because, right, Nate?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah. Um, and I mean, like, yeah, I don't have anything to say that hasn't been said about it a million times. I don't really plan on seeing it. I had kind of an idea of maybe doing an interesting video, but I don't really want to give them my money. And again, I'm sure there's going to be just a flood of these emoji movie videos. So maybe when it's died down and it comes out on Netflix or something, I'll do my idea. But yeah, I am kind of sick of hearing about it. It's one of those things where it's just like, okay, like we all know it's awful. Like, and I'm sure, I'm sure there are some great videos about it, some great reviews that kind of deconstruct it and stuff. But just personally, I'm kind of sick of seeing about it because it's not just that like, okay, now all the videos are coming out, but videos have been building up about, oh, why this movie is going to be awful and this and this and this. So it's
Ever
just been
since it was initially announced, the people
yeah.
have been making content about the sheer stupidity of just the movie existing to
Yeah.
begin with.
And I'm not
So
saying it doesn't deserve it because it does deserve it. It's just from my standpoint, I just kind of don't really want to see it anymore. It's just kind of more of a like duh thing to me,
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Under what circumstances? Oh no, the chat scrolled. Do I take notes on my third view? Man, you're like highly technical DS guy. Do I take notes on my third viewing of a SpongeBob episode? Is it only if I don't? If I just notice something that I want to mention in the review is basically when I take notes. This is not like a formula of I have to have certain notes for everything or whatever. It's just if I know I want to mention something or in the review and I don't know if I'll remember it. Because I remember after the third viewing, right after it, I record the review itself. So sometimes I don't even take the notes just because I just remember what I want to say. Are the Schneider's Bakery videos gone or done? No, but I don't know. It could still be a while before the next one. Yeah. They were holding back the episodes before I started reviewing SpongeBob. That is true. Could you imagine though if there wasn't that gap between 9A and 9B and we were on like season 13 of SpongeBob? Uh, uh, SpongeBob, you're fired has no comma. You spelled the SpongeBob comma, you're fired. Why doesn't it have a comma? It's because Mrs. Puff You're Fired has a comma, I'm pretty sure. And so this title doesn't. Gosh darn it. Thank you for mentioning that to me, though. I will put that on the list of things I'm changing for the combined video right now, actually. Let me do that.
Oh, I can't wait till that comes out. It's going to be so great.
Where are these notes? Yeah, just 1 second. Do you have anything you want to tell the audience, Nate, while I'm doing this? It's like
I
a
saw
loaded question.
Well, I did see a Splatoon 2 comment.
Ooh, yeah.
Kalana.
Okay.
Kalana said, "Do you think Splatoon 2 does enough to justify it being a sequel?" Well, I would say in most circumstances, with the sheer amount of content that Splatoon 2 has, probably not. But the fact that it's still a brand new franchise, and just the fact that the game is still just so much fun, I think it's okay. Like really, the biggest change was Salmon Run. But I think for Splatoon 3, they are going to have to amp it up. They're going to have to start, doing more with the single player, actually add more game modes, really, streamline the online. We should be able to swap out weapons in between matches if we want to. Small things like that should be fixed. I mean, I think Splatoon 2 is great as it is, but Splatoon 3 is really going to need to step its game up.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's funny because I mean, me and Nate play a lot of Splatoon, and we've been playing a lot of Splatoon 2, and we were actually having this conversation the other day of how it's weird that there aren't like the new guns, the dualies are up front and center, and I think they're unlocked like either right at the start or at like level 3. But no other weapon, no other new weapon is really showcased. I think there's like one or two that you can unlock at like level 20 or 25 or something. There's one that you can play in the single player, but it's not actually in the multiplayer yet. But it's weird that
the umbrella weapon.
Yeah. It's weird that for this like new game, you would think they'd really want to be pushing the new content. And to be fair, a lot of the maps are new and the Salmon Run is new and stuff. So I'm hoping that it is going to be with updates. They're going to kind of justify the sequel and provide a lot of new guns, a lot of maybe a new game mode and stuff. And yeah, maybe even fix some of the little quality of life stuff. But I think being able to just play it on the Switch and, knowing that there is content to come, like the core game is still very fun. And the tweaks they've made to the ranked modes have been great so far. Okay, back on SpongeBob because me and Nate could talk about
We could go on for
Splatoon.
Splatoon for a while.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Favorite Bojack episode? Off the top of my head, either the undersea one, which is it's like oft quoted as like one of the best ones because it's kind of a genre shift. But also that's too much, man. As that episode, or you know what, my favorite episode is the one where it's like the second or third to last episode from the second season where he's with the his old friend's family and he goes to prom with his old friend's daughter. That one really like cemented what I think like Bojack's character is and just how like, oh god, Bojack, why? Anyway, I know that sounds like complete nonsense to everyone else, but I'm sure if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, what do I think about the random Bizarro scenes in the newer episodes, like the one in Pineapple Invasion or the time travel scenes from the second movie? Um, I think honestly, when used in an appropriate manner and when done in small doses, like Bizarro freakout scenes can really, it's just like you're in animation and you can do anything you want. So yeah, why not show the audience something crazy that just doesn't make any sense? Um, like it's cool. But I do think that like in the movie, I don't know. I think it might have been maybe a little bit much. Like there's definitely overdoing it on that sort of thing. Is there any cartoons I find overrated? Invader Zim. How about you, Nate? Is there anything you think? I know you don't watch too many shows, but is there any cartoons you think is overrated?
Hmm. I think I know. I was gonna say Fairly Odd Parents, but I really like that. I really love that show when
Hmm.
like when it first came out. I mean, obviously it's not as good now,
Yeah.
but I can't really think of anything off
I
the top of my
guess
head.
I'd also say maybe My Little Pony, just because I do still think it's a good show, but I don't know. The just it catching on in the way it does, in the way it did, it just does seem a little. It's always seemed a little weird to me. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good show. I just don't think it's as good as the pedestal a lot of people put it on. Um, okay, let's see. If I want to know a bit about the movie, they represent all of YouTube using the pineapple pen video. What? Pineapple pen. Oh, are you talking about the emoji
Uh,
movie? They might be talking about the emoji movie. Okay, let's see. Let me catch up here. Uh, Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I'm just scrolling through the chat here. Mrs. Puff, your fire does have the comma. Aha! Take that. Maybe they shouldn't have like renamed the episode at the last minute. I wonder what was the original. Maybe we don't know, or maybe it didn't. It just had a working title until Nickelodeon came. Because I believe it's been confirmed that Nickelodeon didn't have anything else to do with SpongeBob Your Fire, but they were the reason why the name is as like clickbaity. Um, I don't know.
clickbaity.
I could see it being something like, I don't know, Sponge Out of Work or something. Parody of the movie. Let's see. Hey, Sukanzu. Affiliate parents died. Oh yeah, the allegedly it is over at this point.
Oh,
Allegedly. We we because it's been killed a few times and kind of like has gone into limbo for like a year or something, but then it just inexplicably comes back. Um but this time it got moved to Nicktoons. I always want to say Nicktoons Network because that's the name of the channel that makes sense. Just calling it Nicktoons doesn't make sense because it's ambiguous as to what I'm talking about. But it got moved to that network that is known as Nicktoons, and that's kind of where Nickelodeon puts a lot of its shows to die. So theoretically, it's dead.
hmm.
Do I watch any mashup channels? Well, I do subscribe to one wonderful gentleman by the name of Captain JZH who makes some mashup videos that I watch sometimes. Um, do,
Oh,
do
I
you?
saw his the Pie Guy one he made.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
That
Um,
was a good one.
do you watch any mashup type channels, Nate? I don't know
Um,
exactly
not
in what
really.
context he means. Like I watch I don't know, answer the question. Sorry to cut you off.
Like mashup. Well, yeah, it does kind of depend on the context. Like mashup music channels or
Yeah.
like mashup video compilations or what exactly? I
Yeah,
mean, I
I'm not
can't.
sure.
I mean, there are some like music channels that will have, they'll make remixes of stuff that are technically mashups.
Hmm.
I guess if that's what you're asking.
All right. Do I have a fidget spinner? I do not, but Nate does.
I
He
do.
brought it when he visited,
Gold
and
one.
he spun it nonstop.
Yep.
I had to
It's so
I had to
great.
stop him from spinning it in the Nicktoons Unite playthrough.
It makes a little like whistling sound if you spin it really fast.
Hello, Emily. How you doing tonight? Favorite SpongeBob song? Do you have one, Nate?
Ooh, good question. There's a lot of really
I
good ones.
know.
Probably off the top of my head, I'd have to say, "Best Day Ever." It's a pretty good song.
Yeah, that's a very good song. Um, Off the top of my head, I'm like, well, I love, of course, "Don't Be a Jerk, It's Christmas" from the newer Christmas special. And then the song from the original Christmas special as well is very good.
Yes,
Um,
the OG Christmas song.
and then I don't know, the campfire song always just sticks in my head.
Yeah.
It's just so catchy.
Actually, you know what my favorite one is? It doesn't have a name, but remember the episode where the jellyfish take over SpongeBob's house and they're playing
Jellyfish
that
Jam?
techno beat?
Yeah.
Yes. That song is my
It
favorite one.
it
It's
does
so catchy.
it does have a name, I think. It is some background instrumental name. I'm sure some maybe someone in the chat might even know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. uh, and then even like on the SpongeBob soundtrack, I know it's not strictly like SpongeBob songs from the show, but even on the soundtrack, there's some really cool songs about. There's one or that's a remix of the episode Bubble Stand that Patrick gets his own song. Of course, there is the classic Ocean Man.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Mr. Enter played Ocean Man in his latest video, and he thought of me. Yes, yes, I want to be synonymous with Ocean Man. This hasn't come up yet, but what would I do if I had trouble knowing what to rate a SpongeBob season? Would I watch every episode again if I needed to? Honestly, I think if it was a tie, like if I was just like really conflicted between two ratings, I would probably in that case just go with the number of episodes that like fell into each rating, basically. Of course, if it was season 8, I would be completely out of luck using that as a tiebreaker. But no, I've never had that problem. I always kind of have the feeling by the end of working on all of this project, because I decide the rating of the season like very late after I've done all the reviews and everything else, pretty much. I typically have a feeling of it. So yeah. Let's see. Goodbye, Krabby Patty is a lame title. Yeah, that one's a lame title as well. Factory Fresh was a lot better. Even, yeah. I mean, I don't think Factory Fresh was a great title, but yeah. Okay.
Oh, so that song is called Stadium Rave. That's what the
Ooh.
Yes Guy says.
Oh, no, yeah. See, I told you someone in the chat would know it. Any updates to the remastered versions of SpongeBob seasons 1 through 3? Put on the far back burner for now, so very likely it won't happen. It's just it's just a lot of time to devote, and I don't know. People would rather see new content, which is very understandable. Let's see. Steven Universe is overrated. Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. Let's see. Have I seen seasons 4 through 7 of My Little Pony? No, to be completely fair, I have not. I've seen the first 2 seasons, and then I think a little bit of the third one. Before all bronies unsub. Let's see. All right, let me quickly kind of catch up with the chat here. Has any fan ever recognized me in person? No, and I don't think it would happen. I'm not big enough for that sort of thing to happen, really, and yeah.
I mean, if you went to the right place,
well, see,
that's
the other thing. I don't typically go to places where I would be recognized.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I got recognized when I had 15,000 subscribers.
Wow.
By one person. That was insane. I don't know how that guy recognized me, but yeah, it was crazy.
Was it Cap? Was it you, Jay-Z?
No, it wasn't Jay-Z. I met Jay-Z when I had like 60,000 subs or something, but I forgot his name.
Oh,
but, yeah,
wow!
I just remember Well, so I used to know his name. Like, stop watching me like 2 years ago.
I'm sorry. It's just, yeah, man, I'll never forget it. I only had 15,000 subs, and he recognized me. I don't know his name. Who cares?
I remember what he looks like.
Okay,
I just don't
all
remember
right.
his name.
So you'll recognize him out in public randomly someday.
Yeah.
Okay. Never Give Up is your favorite SpongeBob song. Kalana Manjun. This is why I don't say people's names because I can't pronounce them. Yeah, it's a very good one, and I don't think I'd put it in my favorites, but I would put it in my favorites of like post first movie. Let's see. Do I think a romance storyline could work in a show like SpongeBob? No. I mean, what do you mean by storyline? Do you mean just like plot of an episode? Because I will,
Some of those.
yeah. Well, I mean, I stand by the best one, and I don't think they'd ever top it. Would be Krusty Love.
Oh, yeah,
That is
that was
such a good
perfect.
episode. Yeah. Some of the other attempts have kind of been, in my opinion. A lot of the Karen Plankton ones end up being more about the formula, and like it just kind of seems like it's about Plankton and Karen being together, but it's really just a means to an end for the formula, which I don't find to be a very good romance plot line. Oh, see you, Cap. Enjoy your vacation.
All right, see you, dude.
And then there's also been there was the one with Squidward's date, but that one is really forgettable. Anyway, is Pie Guy Play still active? At the moment, it is not, but it will be coming back very soon. Yeah, I got sick, and sick in the way that like every time I would speak, if I spoke for like more than a minute, I would just have this really bad cough, like this full body, like lungs vibrating cough. Like it sounds like a duck call or something. It's not like a every few minutes. Like I think people would be cool with that. It's like a really obnoxious cough. So I decided to just kind of take a break from the Let's Play thing while that was happening. And now that I'm better, I'll get back to it at some point. Nate, do you remember when you and Chari5 met Fan of NB?
No, I don't. I know he's talking about a Twitter account,
Ah,
but I don't know who runs that Twitter account.
okay. Oh. Hey, Cal. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't pronounce your name. Well, we're good with that. I can pronounce that. Any show that I think needs more love? Bojack Horseman always needs more love. Just throwing that out there. I think Harvey Beaks could have used a little bit more love, but that show's kind of, it's just gonna fade into obscurity, really. I don't tend to watch more obscure shows, which is not I should, but I don't tend to watch more of that. So yeah, I don't really have many good examples. I think Rocco needs more love. Not that it was an unpopular show at all. And I hope that the revival movie kind of generates a lot more appreciation for it, because I think it's one of the best Nicktoons. All right, let's see. Am I gonna watch the stop motion Halloween SpongeBob special when it comes, or when I review season 11? Probably when I review season 11, to be honest with you.
Wait, there's a season 11 episode already in the works.
Well, yeah, dude. Season 10 is almost done airing. I mean, they're probably almost done with season 11, if not already finished.
Oh, I thought they just finished season 9.
Well,
Okay.
they did like, okay, so they finished season 9. The last one to air was Goodbye Krabby Patty in, I want to say like March or April, but season 10 had already aired an episode by the time that happened, and then they just kind of shoved a lot of season 10 out. It was a weird production cycle, because of the second movie really messed with a lot of things, so it made there be a big gap. But then after that gap, it seemed like they just made a bunch of episodes all at once. I don't know.
Huh. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. Now you know. Do I feel that whenever the show tries to do something melodramatic, it doesn't work? I mean, if it's like, it depends on the reason why it's doing something. If it's melodramatic for the sake of comedy, I think that can be funny. But I think when it tries to be more serious, very often falls flat. There's been some cell phone references in recent episodes. How do I feel about that? I don't mind it. I mean, I know there was a phone in Mall Girl Pearl. It's like phones in and of themselves aren't really a big deal. I mean, Plankton had a cell phone as far back as Fear of a Krabby Patty, and funnily enough, he has the same cell phone in one of the more recent episodes, and he uses it to call Karen in both or in the later one. Anyway, no, I don't mind there being cell phones. It's just like one of those things if they're gonna do like Instaclam or something like that. That sort of thing gets me. Yeah. So yeah, just the existence of cell phones, not a big deal. But doing more specific like cultural type references doesn't really feel right for SpongeBob. And if every character had a cell phone all the time or whatever, that also wouldn't feel right. But here or there as a plot device or a joke or whatever, not a big deal. Have I seen Megas XLR? I did when it was originally airing, which means I was like 7 or 8. So it's been a long time, and I don't remember too much. Just that chicks dig giant robots. I remember liking it, and it seemed like a very interesting show. And looking back, it did kind of seem a little bit ahead of its time with a lot of. I think it had a lot of anime influence. But yeah. Thank you, Emily, for wishing me or being glad that I'm feeling better. Yeah, it was a nasty sickness. It lasted for a long time, and I still have the cough a little bit, but it's nothing like it was. And as you can hear, I can talk without having to do it. Oh, and that's the other thing, Nate. I didn't mention season 10 is short. Season 10 is
Oh, okay.
yeah,
How many episodes?
I think 14, 13, something like that. 13 half hours, so still
What?
26 ish, something like that. But yeah, which I mean, nice
Wow.
for me, but very odd, very odd. There's never not even
Yeah.
like the first or second seasons were that short. Even first one I believe was 41 shorts if you include the reef blower. But
I wonder why they're making the season shorter.
they aren't. Season 11's normal length. Season 10 is just short because again, the second movie production cycle
Oh, the movie.
really messed.
That
Yeah,
makes
messed with a
sense.
lot of things. Would I like Plankton to use one of his plans A through Y since the movie is at the end of the series? I mean, that would be cool, but I don't think they do continuity like that. Not in that way, anyway. Season. Oh, they're talking about the seasons overlapping and airing. Being patrons, can I tell you a tiny bit of what I'll tell you tomorrow? No, because I like it's a lot of announcement stuff, and I made the video and I've kind of edited it a bit and put text in and stuff, and I want to be very clear with my messaging. If I just speak now off the cuff, I'll say something like I don't know. I won't state it clearly enough, and then it'll be confusing, and then it'll be like, oh, Pie Guy said this, and then you know what I mean. I want to make the more official statement tomorrow. Yeah. I seem to really hate episodes that confuse comedy and seriousness, such as Back to the Past and Are You Happy Now? I mean, it depends. Again, it depends on how it's done. I think SpongeBob has never really been great at juxtaposing the two. For all that SpongeBob was good at comedy wise, I don't think having realistic situations and then having comedy with that has been one of its traditionally good aspects. Yeah, nice try, Sukanzu. Oh, it's 11 half hours for season 10. Do I still read comic books? No, I haven't in a while. Trying to think when the last one. I used to get like trades for a bit there, but even now I don't really do that much anymore. It's just not. I don't know. It's not enough entertainment for the money that it is. Regular comic books trades are a bit better, but you got to remember to go out and buy them and stuff. And I don't know. I'm so far out of the comics industry. I wouldn't know really what to buy. So yeah.
I've never read comics before.
Really? I mean, like they're nice, and I think a big thing right now is that the big companies kind of have subscription services where you can get all comics like unlimited on a tablet or something like that for whatever a month.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and that makes sense and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like out of it. So it's kind of hard to get back in because the way those stories are told, like incrementally, once you jump out, and then like there's so many crossovers and stuff that you're like out of the loop on the universe, and so it's one of those things where you get into it and you might be really into it at a time, but then if you're out, it's hard to get back. Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, sounds like something I wouldn't be able to keep up with.
Yeah. Why is Atlantic Square Panis one production number and Truth or Square two? I think it's. I mean, I don't know. I've always thought that's a good question. Maybe because Atlantic Square Panis wasn't. I don't know. Truth or Square is a lot longer than Atlantis, at least in its like original form or its final form or whatever you want to call it. It equates to like. I want to say it's like an hour and 20 minutes without commercials. I want to say no. I think it's an hour and 9 minutes without commercials or something, which means with commercials that would be like I don't know 2 hours or something like that. Hour 40. Let's see. Seasons 1 through 5 of 20 half hours. 26 for 6 through 9. 11 for yeah. You got it. Okay. Have I ever read one of the SpongeBob comics? Yeah. Not like the current run, but when they would appear in Nickelodeon magazine, I'd always read them. And I have one. Nick Mag would do spin-offs, like every so often of just like a magazine that has just a bunch of Nickelodeon comics in it. And like one of them was a SpongeBob theme one, and I still have that one. And yeah, I specifically remember one story where SpongeBob goes to the dry cleaners and gets the wrong pants, and he ends up with like these parachute pants. And then later on, there was an episode where something similar happens. Have you ever read any of Nick Mag growing up, Nate? Did you ever read that stuff?
I think my sister had the magazines for like a year, and that was it. But I didn't really read those. I had Nintendo Power.
Oh, look at
That
you!
was the coolest thing.
I had that too.
Love that.
But Nickelodeon magazine, man, there was nothing really like it. I mean, I'm sure. I guess it's kind of similar to like Mad Magazine or something. But at the time, because there was just all sorts of crazy stuff. Like there was news on Nickelodeon, like new episodes and shows coming out, interviews with actors and stuff. There was games and puzzles type stuff. There was a comic section. There was like all sorts of different sections in it. You never really know what you were going to get. And I think it's kind of like a piece of Nickelodeon history that's kind of been really pushed to the wayside. Not many people talk about it anymore. But it was really cool. And then kind of like what happened with Nintendo Power, where towards the end it got bought out by a company and turned really bad. Nickelodeon magazine, I don't know if it changed ownership or what happened to it, but it got really bad. Like it changed the logo and like it kind of rebranded itself, and it was bad. And then it died a year after, or yeah. So
well, Nintendo Power never really got bad. It's just the industry just completely changed. Like no one would buy magazines.
It got bought by I think it got bought by the same company that owned like Xbox magazine or something. So I don't know. I remember something. It's like Future or something. And I don't know that it got bad, but it definitely didn't retain the same feeling. It felt more corporate, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, Pie Guy, you troll. After I watched the beginning of your nice try video, I looked for info, thinking about see if you were serious. You know, it's funny. I looked up Google searches for like nice try SpongeBob, like the analytics, and it spiked. Like, I mean, I don't know. It was like 100 people that searched that on that day that video went up. The funny, I'm kind of surprised no one's asked about that video beforehand because I haven't really spoken about it yet. But that video, basically, the way I looked at it was, I kind of wanted to fool people, but at the same time, not. I put clues in there that you could, if you were paying attention, you could maybe realize that I was joking. Like Nickelodeon Critics Convention certainly does not exist, and certainly Nickelodeon would not pre-screen any episodes for me. And also, I don't believe they still record these things on VHS tapes. So I kind of like I put in enough like authenticity to it where it would fool some people, but not so authentic that people would get mad at me thinking like I was trying to genuinely fool people. You know, like because it was just
Right.
a joke. I mean, the episode, it's basically a video like my Plankton episode idea video. It's just one episode idea. And I was thinking of even titling it that, like, you know, episode SpongeBob episode ideas colon whatever, you know, nice try. But then I was like, nah, it's just gonna be funnier if I just upload this video called Nice Try, and I make it. I have the thumbnail just be like a SpongeBob title card, and of course, people who frequented my gaming live streams, that's where that joke initiated. Someone asked me like, "Hey, what's your favorite episode of season 9?" And I was like, "Oh, well, of course, Nice Try." And then everyone was like, "Oh, you heard it. His favorite episode's Nice Try." And yeah, there we go. Now I've explained the joke. Is my base rating ever good and ultimate rating SpongeBob or ScumBob or vice versa? Not to be confused. Yes. Let's see. Oh, people bless me because I sneezed, or you sneezed. One of us sneezed.
You sneezed.
Okay. Hey, Paga, to show how long I've been a viewer, I remember when you were uploading videos on a channel called Game Boy Series, the Game Boy. Oh, man. Yeah, Mario fanboy. I definitely recognize your name as being someone who's been around for a very long time. God, that's got to be like 2009. Whew, crazy. Funny thing is, I never even like deleted that channel or the videos on that channel. So either YouTube deleted it, which is possible, or it's just literally had, you know, no views in the past 8 years, so it's just kind of been buried in the algorithm. I'm sure Nate doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea.
Yeah, this was years before I met you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you. Okay, so how often do I find myself quoting a SpongeBob episode on a daily basis outside of YouTube? Okay, so the thing about this one, I tend to use the word formula a lot more in like just everyday life when referring to something, because I've said that word so many times in the SpongeBob videos. Trying to think of what other. That's the best example I can give. I've also caught myself saying "nice try" a lot lately. I think it's just kind of a thing that I used to say a lot, and I didn't really realize I said that much. And now I say it, and every time I say it, I think of the video that I made. When I make my season review commentaries, do I import the video into a video editor or do I screen capture? Why would I screen capture the? Yeah, I import the video to the video editor. Why would I screen cap my own video?
What I
Anyway.
think he means is like when you're
Oh.
like screen capturing to record the video footage itself.
Oh, no, I think he means like, do I like no, I take the file and I put it into Premiere, and then I open Audition in the background and I just run the video in Premiere and then record the audio while it's running. Yeah.
There you go. There's your
Yep. Inside secrets. I know you made Nice Try the whole time. I think the main thing that gave it away is I wouldn't be able to remember every single detail. Yeah, that's the other thing too. There's no way. If I saw an episode once at like a trade show or something, the attention to detail, yeah. The Game Boy Series channel is still up. Okay, cool. Yeah, don't link that. Let that be a little secret between me and you forever. If I was Plankton, what would I do to steal the secret formula? I would break in at like 1 a.m. when everyone's asleep. I really don't think there's much that Krabs or anyone else could do. Of course, given the nature of the show, I'm sure in that episode you'd have an alarm on it that would like alert him at that time or something. But I don't know. Plankton very rarely goes in when the Krusty Krab isn't open. Like you think he would. I'm sure in a few episodes he's tried that.
But in the very first episode where that debuted Plankton, you know, he was trying to steal it when the Krusty Krab the Krusty Krab was closed.
That's true with SpongeBob. Yeah.
So
yeah. That's true. Do I think there's an episode where the SpongeBob crew visits Texas, but not in an awful way like rodeo days? Could work, or would be dead on arrival? You know what? I've been thinking about this because it would have to be like a special, honestly, to make it really feel right. Um, because thus far, I mean, like the movies have been the only times when the characters have been like on the surface, like for a long period of time. Of course, there's always pressure, whether puppets and the rodeo days, and there's a few other examples, but for the most part, they haven't done that. So I think it'd have to be a special. And I think if I were to say, I think that would be another good contender for a stop motion episode where the characters are all stop motion. And I think they could make it work, but I think that's an idea that I don't know. It'd be a little tricky. But I think it'd be cool to meet like Sandy's parents and relatives and stuff. Um, what do you think, Nate? Do you think that'd be a good idea? Do an
Yeah,
episode in Texas?
I mean, I don't see why not. I could definitely see that being like a special, for
Mm.
sure, like a 30-minute special,
Yeah.
where they take Sandy's rocket, and that's like the first 5-10 minutes, and then they try to meet Sandy's parents, and they're not what they expected, and then
Mm-hmm.
they end up going back to Teeny Bottom. They could do some really clever things with that.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean, you could do something like I don't know, like her dad's like a redneck type that's like into like fighting and rodeos and stuff like that, and then her mom could be like a super scientist or something, and we could learn why Sandy is the way she is. But I don't know that they'd ever do that. I feel like that might be one of those things that's like one of Hillenberg's rules of like don't go to the surface for extended periods unless it's a movie. um
It's gonna be the plot for the third movie.
I mean, it could be.
Gonna go visit Sandy.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went on the surface again for the third movie. Um, that's a good question, though. Thank you for that. Dub Nitsat. Was my big lipped alligator joke in my Boating Buddies review supposed to make people think I was going to say it's definitely a SpongeBob episode? You're asking specifics about these videos that I made years ago. I can't answer you that one. Sorry. Um, You storied one of Jacob Leonard's scrapped episodes of Mugman, and he liked it. Oh, congratulations! If I didn't do honorable mentions in yesterday's video, why did other episodes appear in the thumbnail? I mean, I think that's kind of obvious. Why would I put the 5 episodes on the top 5 in the thumbnail? That would like give it away.
Give it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandy's dad was shown on a book. Really? Since Bubble Buddy Returns failed, any episodes that I would like to have a sequel for? I mean, they're already doing the Frankendoodle sequel, and I know they had a Spot Returns episode that I think came out and people liked. I'm not sure. I don't know. Is there any episode you'd like to see a sequel to, Nate?
Not really. I kind of like when SpongeBob introduces new concepts and new ideas. I don't think like it's pretty like I'm trying to remember like a good episode.
I mean, like there are
sequel.
Well, there are certain.
There's Mermaid and Barnacle Boy.
Yeah,
But
yeah. There are certain characters that I'd kind of like to maybe see again, like I mean, like like Kevin, or I've always I'd always like to see what Flats is up to, or another episode with the Strangler. But like the problem is, I mean, it's like they just kind of end up usually just retreading what the episode already was. So it's like, what story would they tell with Kevin that isn't about Kevin just making fun of SpongeBob and getting comeuppance for it? What episode could they tell with the bully? Like what would you do with that character? So as much as I'd like to see some of these characters back, I don't know that there'd be room for it. I don't know that there'd be a point to it, but it depends on what they do with the episode. If they retread, then it's probably not going to be very good. The third movie was confirmed to be partly CGI again. Really? Gosh darn it! I mean, as long as it's mostly traditionally animated. I mean, the CG's nice. Like it's not. It's just.
It looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just it's always exciting to hear about a traditionally animated film because it doesn't really happen anymore. Opinion on the dab. It's trash.
Dab on them haters.
Man, why can't the dab have died? I feel like
it's not going to die for a while.
Mojo.
I think it's going to last another year.
Mojo Jojo dabs in a promo video for Cartoon Network in like a
Oh
bumper.
God.
I know. Yeah, anyway, let's see. Squilliam returns. Yes.
Reacting to Schoolium Returns,
Oh
or
god, yeah.
Schoolium reacts to Schoolium Returns.
I want another episode with the "What's It to You" because he was wasted in his one poor episode. You know, it's funny, for as much as I don't really like that episode, that name "What's It to You" has always kind of stuck with me. Have you ever seen that episode, Nate? Do you know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, it's the Wigstruck episode, right?
Nope. It's the episode. It's a short in season 5 where SpongeBob and Squidward have to name everyone in the Krusty Krab, and there's this one guy that Squid can't get the name off of, and he's just like, I gotta know your name, and he's like, "What's it to ya?" It's
Okay, I do
it's
remember that.
it's pretty forgettable. I think I'm
I
pretty sure it
thought
was a ScumBob.
I thought that it was like a part of the Wigstruck episode, but I guess not.
No.
I don't remember that clearly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Look at you. Um, let's see. So it's 7:02 now. I'm probably gonna go for maybe another 10 minutes. So any other questions? Ask away. Thank you guys for joining me here. I know this was very short notice, and unfortunately, due to my schedule, this was the only time I could guarantee that I'd have a weekend free in the next while. Um, and I wanted to make sure I did it on a weekend, and I wanted to also make sure I did this. So, yeah, you animated yourself dabbing.
oh boy.
Do you love the 21 kid meme as much as I do? I've never even heard of it. I mean, I know this might come as a shock, but I'm not really up on the meme culture. Nate certainly is, right? You're pretty hip with the memes.
I mean,
you
for some memes. I don't know all of them, but I'll use them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Just for a
Do
joke. I used to abuse them a lot, but I've definitely slowed down a little bit.
Do I think Pink Old Peach is trash? Nah, Pink Old Peach is the best character.
Come on. I'm serious. Of course there's gonna be a Pink Gold Peach question. I can't get rid of it. It's everywhere.
Is the voyage to the corner of the globe a real trip? It is, man, especially when you realize the globe doesn't have any corners. Think about that. What is it? I'm 12 and this is deep. I know that meme. Or I'm deep and this is 12 or something. It's like a meme. It's like things that 12-year-olds think are deep. It's like, you can't go to the corner of the globe because the globe's a sphere, man. Your dabbing animation is a rotoscope. It's a white background with black outlines. This is nothing but a bunch of cheap dab cycles. Have I heard of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? The animated series or the video games? Because yes, to both. Or the what is it? Live action game show that had a really awesome acapella theme song. Because also yes. I confirm flat earther. Anything I like more from season 9 than any previous seasons? Like I said, the tone, like the atmosphere. Sorry, not the tone. The atmosphere. I think it's really good. And I don't know that I'd say it's better than like season 1's atmosphere, because season 1 also did atmosphere really well. But I think it's definitely, it probably even beats out like season 2 or 3, because I mean, as funny as they were, I don't know that I'd say atmosphere is one of the things that they were good at. Just that, yeah. So yeah, that's something I'd say that. Also the continuity gags. Yeah, I don't think any other season did it as well or as consistently as season 9. Except maybe season 10, I guess. People are telling me there's continuity gags. Someone showed me a picture of it's like I don't know, a storage locker or Lost and Found or something in the Krusty Krab, and it's got like a bunch of references to older episodes. So that's cool. It's also a Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. Yep. Any early thoughts about there being a CG Ren and Stimpy short in front of a SpongeBob movie 3? Is that true? Is that happening?
I've never heard of that.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Is this just a rumor, or I mean, maybe it's been confirmed, but I'm not a huge fan of Ren and Stimpy. But and I don't know. I mean, it also depends on if John Kay is doing it or any of the original people are doing it. Because actually, I don't know. I don't know if it's a better thing that if he were the one to be doing it or not, considering Adult Party Hour. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm neutral, no opinion. Oh, John Kay is directing. Yeah, I mean, I, I don't think Ren and Stimpy really needs a TV movie at all. Well, I mean, I don't think it needs a TV movie. So if this is kind of a way to give it like a reunion type thing, in a short form, I think yeah, pretty cool. Ever heard of the Adult Party cartoon? Yes, yes, of course I've heard about the Adult Party cartoon. I don't think I don't think you have, Nate.
I have not. What is the adult party cartoon?
It's a bit of a story, but the creator of Ren and Stimpy got kicked off of Ren and Stimpy because for a number of reasons. One of them was that he was late with a lot of his stuff. Another one is that he was always trying to make the show more like adult and stuff, and Nickelodeon was pushing back. Anyway, he got fired. Show ended a few years later, and MTV gave him a chance to kind of reboot it to make it more adult. And apparently, this guy, without like any restraints on him, is just really nuts. I mean, Ren and Stimpy in and of itself is kind of nuts, but the Adult Party Hour is a sequel series to Ren and Stimpy. It features Ren and Stimpy, but it's over the top in vulgar and unpleasantness, and it's not good at all.
Mm.
Anyway, if someone parodied you, would they call you Donut Dude Trucks? I think it would be cake guy or cake dude.
Cake guy rules.
Based on my Emmy video comment, is Make Love Not Warcraft my favorite South Park? It's up there. I also love the Return of the it's like the Return of the Ring to the Two Tower. It's the Lord of the Rings episode. That one's also another very good one. I'm trying to think. There's a lot of Butters episodes that I really like. Yeah. Anyway, but Make Love Not Warcraft is absolutely up there, and it would definitely make a top 10 list for me. Absolutely. Do I think they'd finally do a special episode, or do I think they'd do a special episode when SpongeBob finally ends? You know, I wouldn't even be surprised if Nickelodeon is starting this precedent of doing TV movies of their old shows just to set up for the fact that after SpongeBob is over, they're going to keep milking it with like reunion specials afterwards.
Yeah.
That's completely insane. But at the same time, yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if Nickelodeon did reunion specials for SpongeBob frequently when the show ends. Unless the show ends because, like, I don't know. One of the actors passes away, and I don't wish that on anyone. But just if the show goes on long enough, that could happen. And without Tom Kenny, especially, I don't see there being a SpongeBob. That's not a voice you can replace.
Yeah, there wouldn't be SpongeBob without Tom Kenny.
Yeah, and I don't think you could replace any of the other characters or actors of the main cast.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see Nickelodeon doing it if they had to. Anyway. Oh, also in that Emmy video, I made mention of an actress who actually recently passed away, unfortunately. So I just wanted to say that I'm sorry if any of the comments in that video come off as harsh in hindsight. She was the voice of Granny on Looney Tunes. She's a legendary voice actress, and she's a great voice actress. I was just upset at the fact that she won an Emmy for a role that didn't really seem special in any way, shape, or form, and seemed like it was just designed to give her the Emmy because historically she's done some great voice acting. So I did kind of want to just get that out in a form here. Say that. Yeah. Okay. A few more questions, then we're gonna wrap things up here.
Yeah, my phone is about to die, so if I randomly cut out, you know why.
Okay. Did I shut down my every SpongeBob review SpongeBob Mania topic? I have no control over SpongeBob Mania. I am not in any way a moderator or anything. So anything that's happening with that is I don't know, and I didn't hear of this. So yeah, I have no power, and I don't know. So no. Let's see. Has Erin painted me bold and brash as a gift? No, but she oh wait, has she painted me bold and brash, or has she painted me a picture of bold and brash? Because she actually drew a picture of the Squidward bold and brash, which is great. Do I have any plans to review the show or any episodes of the Loud House? Nope. All right, guys. Well, thank you again for joining me here, and yeah, thank you, Nate, for helping me out with this as well.
No problem.
Yep. I hope I answered your questions, and sorry for the lateness of this all, and yeah. So get hyped for season 10.
I still need to watch season 9. I haven't watched that yet.
Nate, killing me.
I'm slacking.
All right. Bye, guys. Pie Guy Rules.
All right.
Out.
See you guys.